Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Cone, and the Oklahoma City Thunder are moving on to the Western Conference Finals. And my voice is hoarse. I'm in a hotel room because I was in the building. I flew on a whim this morning from New York City to Oklahoma City. I've not really slept at all. I slept for like an hour and a half maybe on my flight, but I'm here. I was in the building. I lost my voice, and I witnessed the Thunder make a statement, getting that Game 7 win over the Denver Nuggets in a massive, massive way. Because first quarter, it was a little shaky. You could sense some nerves amongst the guys. You could feel a little bit of a nervous energy throughout the building as the Thunder went down by 11, and it's like, are they not going to meet the moment? Because Jokic and Denver have so much experience, and a lot of this series has been coming down to the hyper-experienced Nuggets and the pretty inexperienced Oklahoma City Thunder, because all season, we've been annihilating teams, but this is a squad that has yet to do things like that in a postseason setting, whereas Denver, they're champions. Jokic is the best player in the world. They have been here and done this a million times, and you saw those moments in Game 1 and Game 3 and in Game 6 where the Nuggets just came out there and made a statement at home, and a lot of people are picking against the Thunder in Game 7 because they haven't been in this spot before, and they felt like the Nuggets would just kind of take over on the account of their experience. It didn't happen. At the beginning of the game, it looked like it might go that way, and they fought for a bit in the second quarter, but in the final few minutes of the second, the Thunder just came alive. Defensively, they were so good the entire night. That's always been the calling card, but the offense really came alive too, and a lot of that comes from the defense. All season, the Thunder have been hyper efficient at generating turnovers, getting buckets in transition, attacking downhill, getting to their spots. Caruso managed to knock down a three, J-Dub knocked down a three, Shai knocked down a three, the three started to fall a little bit, and Jalen Williams, J-Dub in particular, there was so much slander. All over Twitter, all over all types of media, that anyone that covers basketball is probably slandering Jalen Williams after his Game 6 performance, saying that he has to be so much better. And I agree, he needed to be better, but I knew he would bounce back. And he did. 24 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, and a steal. And specifically, let me grab those second quarter stats because he is the guy that sparked the Thunder's ultimate run into the second half where they just took over. In the second quarter alone, 17 points, 2 assists, and a steal, 8 of 11 shooting, 1 of 2 from 3. He's the reason this game broke wide open. He and Alex Caruso. I can't believe still that the Thunder managed to get Alex Caruso this offseason without giving up a single first-round pick, by the way. And you can see the championship experience that Caruso brings, as well as just the heart, the drive to just not lose at all costs. He was out there guarding Nikola Jokic for a majority of this game. That was his assignment, was to guard Nikola Jokic. And guess what? He did an impeccable job. Jokic got some buckets at times. He ultimately finished 5 of 9 shooting for 20 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, but only 9 shots for Jokic in a Game 7. It's weird, especially because he played 37 minutes despite the blowout, and that was Caruso and the Oklahoma City Thunder doing such a good job of fronting him, of denying entry passes, of preventing Jokic from ever even getting his hands on the ball. And when he did get his hands on the ball, 3 bodies were swarming him, and he had to go ahead and find somebody else, and no one really had it tonight. Michael Porter Jr., 0-4 from 3. Aaron Gordon, credit to him, he toughed it out on a grade 2 hamstring injury to come out there and try and play, and he definitely didn't look like himself. I mean, he was boarding up, had 11 of them, including 4 offensive rebounds, but just 8 points, 1 of 3 from 3, only 4 shots total. Jamal Murray didn't have it in this game, 1 of 8 from 3, 6 of 16 from the floor, just 13 points. Russ was not a Russ game either. David Adelman, I think this was also one of the worst games he's coached. I don't know why in the second quarter they start with a lineup with no Jamal Murray or Nikola Jokic. I don't know how you ever let that happen in a playoff game, never mind in a Game 7. Unless you're up like 30, that probably should never happen, but it did, and that was when the Thunder really started to build momentum. They carried it over into that final, just game-wrecking final few minutes of the second quarter, and in the third, they pushed the lead to 20. They ultimately pushed it to 30, and a lot of that was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He was the one that slammed the door shut, finished this game with 35 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, or 2 steals rather. No, 3 steals. 12 of 19 shooting, 3 of 4 from 3. Shai was dominant in every possible way. This is an MVP type of game. This is what you need from your superstar in a Game 7. You need him to go out there and outplay the other superstar. And he did. Shai was the better player over the course of this series. And Jokic also had some monster games. Both of them did. These are potentially the 2 best players on the planet, depending on where you want to put Giannis. They're, at the very minimum, the top 2 out of 3 best players in the sport. They're the top 2 frontrunners for MVP. Finally, can we give Shai his MVP award now? I don't know why we still don't know the winner of that award. It is Shai, like the Vegas odds and all the confirmed votes say it's going to be Shai, but I don't know why that wasn't announced. before game 5 or game 1 or game 2 or even game 7. I don't know. I don't know how we don't know still a regular season award, but Shai was unbelievable in this game. He just picked everything apart, and that is kind of the way Shai works. He struggled for the first few games of the series. I mean, game 2, he was amazing, but like games 1 and 3 and 4 weren't really his best. But by the end of this series, you could tell that Shai had kind of figured this thing out. And that's always been the way it goes with Shai, is that he might struggle against a defense the first or the second time he sees it, but once he gets it at least once, Shai's probably going to go out there and torch it the next time. He just adjusts so well. And in this game, like I said, he finished with only 4 assists, but he could have had 30 of them if guys were knocking down shots. Shai was so good this matchup at relentlessly getting downhill, attacking, kicking to an open shooter, and not a lot of those shots fell. The Thunder ultimately shot 12 of 39 from 3 for 30.8%. That's a number that's going to have to come up. They need to shoot better than they did in the series going up against Minnesota. But just overall, Shai, in terms of generating the shots for himself and for others, ridiculous. One of the best offensive engines on the entire planet, one of the best offensive guards in the history of the sport. J-Dib stepped up. Chet, 4 of 9 from the field, had 11 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block. I thought played phenomenal defense. Cason Wallace was stellar. I can't believe he's this steady as a second-year player. It feels like he should be a vet of like 10 years. The way that he defends, the way that he brings energy. He dunked on Nikola Jokic. Dort, also great defense from him. Aaron Wiggins had a couple of key buckets. Pretty much everybody contributed. I mean, we talk about the Thunder's depth, and ultimately that was what won them the game. I mean, it was the stars mainly in Shai and Jada, but the Thunder's depth really just outweighed the Nuggets' depth guys. Eventually, that caught up. That was one of the biggest advantages OKC had coming into the series, was that there are just so many more bodies the Thunder can throw at you. They can throw an Alex Caruso at Nikola Jokic, Isaiah Hartenstein or Chet Holmgren or Jalen Williams at times, or whoever to throw at Jokic and Jamal Murray and Christian Brown, who, by the way, started the game amazing. I was like, oh my God, we're going to lose because of a Christian Brown masterclass. He finished with 19 points, 50% shooting, but that doesn't reflect the impact that he had at the beginning of the game. Was by far the Nuggets' best player a lot of tonight. Credit to him. Again, credit to Aaron Gordon for the way that he fought through and tried to play. I still think that was probably the wrong decision because he risked re-injury or, further creating a problem with that hamstring, because hamstring injuries, they're like severe. You've got to make sure that thing's healed, especially for a grade 2. But I mean, he's a warrior out there. And credit to the Nuggets as a whole. I mean, I picked the Thunder in 6. A lot of people were saying Thunder in 5. And after the Thunder got that big game 2 blowout win, I think a lot of people are like, okay, here come the Thunder. They're going to win this one in 5 or 6. But no, the Nuggets made the Thunder work for every single moment, every single win, every single possession of this series. I want to give them their flowers. I never want to see the Nuggets again in a playoff series. And I'm sure it's going to happen at some point, but I'm not looking forward to it because Aaron Gordon was lights out for a lot of this. Jokic is just unstoppable. Jamal Murray and Christian Brown making plays. They got to add more depth. The Nuggets have their work cut out for them this offseason. It kind of comes back to what I said at the beginning of the year. I think I made a video where I said that, we need to talk about the Nuggets, or the Nuggets are in trouble or something along those lines. And clearly they were in less trouble than I thought, but it felt like the depth really wasn't there, that the shooting was going to be a problem. And ultimately it was 22% from 3 in this matchup. The issues they've had all season that were being masked by this incredible starting lineup and the greatness of a Jokic eventually caught up to them. And the Thunder, who are just a much more talented and less flawed team, end up pulling out this series. That's kind of the story of it in the end. So yeah, again, I want to give a lot of credit to the Denver Nuggets, to David Adelman. I mean, more playoff wins than regular season wins, and I thought he coached his butt off in this matchup. He made mistakes, which is expected for a guy who, again, has coached more playoff games than regular season games, but I thought ultimately he did a great job. It was a great addition for the Denver Nuggets head coaching job. I think he should go ahead and get it almost immediately. I imagine they'll interview people, but David Adelman, if I'm the Nuggets brass, did enough to earn a head coaching job from me, in my opinion. Y'all can let me know what you think about that. And also let me know what you think about this Thunder Timberwolves series. It's not going to be easy. Again, I'm going to make a series preview, so I won't give my prediction here, but the Thunder definitely made a statement. This was a growing up matchup. It almost reminds me of in 2015 when the Warriors played the Grizzlies in the second round. And the Grizzlies are very experienced, Mike Conley and Marc Gasol and the end of the grit and grind era. Those guys had been through so many wars as a team. And the Warriors go down 2-1 after kind of being the new kids on the block. Steph Curry wins his first MVP, and it's like, hey, this young team, are they going to get beat by the grizzled veterans? And they didn't. They won the next 4 games, and the Thunder didn't do it quite like that, or the next 3 games, rather, for the Warriors. The Thunder took till game 7, but they got to win over a very, very good veteran team that gave them nothing easy. This is the series the Thunder needed to grow up. If they got a matchup where they were able to just walk through in the second round, I wouldn't feel as good as I do about them now going into the conference finals against Minnesota and hopefully onto the NBA finals to face the winner of the Knicks and Pacers. I dropped my series preview on that right before this video if you want to go ahead and check that out. But yeah, I mean, Couldn't have asked for a better series. The Thunder needed this one to mature, to get that experience. This is a special team that is capable of getting experience and learning on the fly. I feel like I said this in a previous video. A lot of people think experience has to be from year to year. You've got to, get your licks in the playoffs one year, and next year you come back stronger. I think you can get it in real time. And I think the Thunder got that experience after the Aaron Gordon game winner, after game 3, where they end up losing in a big way in overtime, after game 6. They learned continuously. You could see the growth in this team every single time they played. So happy for this team. I think I'm going to stick around in OKC for game 1 of the Western Conference Finals, so I'll be there for the game against Minnesota on Tuesday. But yeah, I mean, Thunder up, super happy to see it. If you haven't seen a Thunder game or a Thunder playoff game specifically in Paycom Center in Oklahoma City, please do yourself a favor and do that, because I'm not just saying this as a Thunder fan. It's the best atmosphere in all of basketball. There are multiple times where I'm trying to, yell, and I can't even hear myself because it got so loud, especially when Dub kind of took over towards the end of that second quarter and Caruso was making plays. Yeah, I mean, the fans are really behind this team. The team is really behind the fans. It's awesome. It's a great time to be a Thunder fan, and I'm very, very optimistic about where this team can go in the end. Super excited about grabbing this win, of course. Let me know what you thought. What you thought about Game 7? What are your takeaways? What should the Nuggets do in the offseason? Who do you have in Thunder versus Timberwolves, and why? How many games? Who is your Western Conference Finals MVP? Because that is something we need to talk about as well. And ultimately, just let me know what you think the finals matchup is going to be. Who comes out of the Eastern Conference? I don't think anybody would have told you the final 4 teams left were going to be the Thunder, the Wolves, the Pacers, and the Knicks. It's a very different combination of 4 teams, especially when you consider the fact that 3 of these teams with the Pacers, the Wolves, and the Thunder have never won a championship. So there's a 75% chance a team that's never won it gets the job done. Or if it's the Knicks, they've won a championship in 50 years. So someone's either getting their first one, or it's a team that hasn't won in 50 years. We want to talk about parity. We want to talk about a special NBA season. This is what it's all about. I'm crossing my fingers, keeping my hopes up that it's going to be my Thunder at the end. And this is the game they needed. This is a series they needed. Credit to the Denver Nuggets again. I never want to play them again, but even more credit to my Thunder, who go ahead and get the job done. I appreciate you watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Again, shout out to the Chicago Bulls for giving us Alex Caruso. I knew how good he was, obviously, but it's different when you're watching him do that stuff for your favorite team. But yeah, I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all later. Real and say back.